issue of space situational awareness, to know about what is happening up there, becomes very, very important for all of us. So for you, let me tell you that it is not into a policy that I am discussing, but more of the issue of the crowding of the space and the corresponding challenges that are faced for us is something that I would like to discuss today. But before I start, I think we need to understand the type of spacecrafts that we are launching. In 1960 time, there were nothing in space, but today there are lakhs of objects in space. And these are happening because that we launch many times of spacecrafts into space for communication purpose, Earth observation, navigation, space science, and many other activities that are happening there. And many a times this domain is changing so much and the technology is evolving, especially in the domain of communication. We have traditionally the geo orbits being used, which is a very precious place for us to have stationary satellites, where we have been traditionally launching, but later the constellation that are come in LEO, MEO has disrupted the entire communication system, and new demand for direct-to-mobile communication is happening. If you look at the Earth observation, there are plenty of satellites launched by many people, especially those who are friendly, not so friendly to us, have been launching hundreds of them. And the technology itself is changing, the resolution is improving, the spectral qualities are improving over a period of time. Large, small, medium-sized satellites are launched in various shapes and forms. The global positioning services, positioning, navigation, timing services, are an equally important domain. GPS is well known, and many other constellations have come up in various orbits. And we also have our own, which is more of a regional constellation, the NAVIC, which is geostationary right now, and we have a plan to expand it with its MEO-LEO constellation. Equally important are the scientific missions which are sent to space, because space is a vantage point for us to look into various astronomical observations. So we have been launching the Chandrayaan. In this path, it goes through the Earth atmosphere, Earth space, as well as then move over to other planetary spaces. So we have quite large number of satellites coming up. So before I look at the type of objects in space, let us look at just a domain of communication. A lot of changes are happening in this domain, especially with regard to the type of technology that is coming into space communication infrastructure. High throughput becomes very important. Earlier we used to talk about transponders. They are no longer the terminology used. Now direct mobility becomes very important domain. And also we see that earlier we used to build satellites for 15 years, 20 years of lifetime. Today we see that the technology is changing too fast, and we need to look at how we can have more flexible satellites that will adapt to market demands. And the technology itself is now living only for short duration, like 3 to 5